Many Native communities are coming together to prevent suicide, but it is important to think about community readiness before you start a prevention program. Healing is complex, and even though it is occurring, barriers still exist. Some of the barriers to talking about suicide include the stigma and shame associated in seeking help for mental health issues, the impact of historical trauma and the loss of healthy ways to process and heal from grief. Cultural taboos. Albert Titman, cultural practitioner and substance abuse counselor, speaks about the power of taboos.
Culturally, we believe in the spirit world, and we believe in both. We call on our ancestor spirit, our spirit helpers, our spirit guides. But then opposite to that, there's those dark spirits, spirit of negativity. And I believe suicide lives there. And we're taught that when we call on those spirits, or when those spirits are present, I believe there's a fear amongst our people that says, don't talk about it, because when you talk about it, you call it. You know, I've heard this said, that we move towards and become like that which we think about. So if we think about suicide and we're talking about it, some of the folks might be afraid that then we call it and it'll show up. So they say, shh, don't talk about it.
Despite these challenges, more Native communities have recognized the importance of increasing a community's readiness to address suicide. The community readiness model is a tool communities can use to assess their level of readiness to address the issue of suicide. The assessment requires interviewing a small but diverse segment of the community in 6 dimensions to come up with an initial readiness score. This score gives the community a starting place and provides strategies a community can take to raise their readiness to address and heal from suicide. For example, a recent assessment showed that many Native American communities developing suicide prevention plans are in Stage 3, or vague awareness. In this stage, community members are often looking around saying, someone has to do something, but they are not actively involved. They're aware of recent incidences of suicide, but awareness and motivation is low and community leadership is not engaged. Some of the strategies communities at this stage are using to raise awareness are:
we're making several contacts per week in our community to inform community members that suicide is preventable. We respect our culture by talking about the importance of honoring life. While present at local events, creating posters, or just meeting with friends, coworkers, or relatives to talk about the issue. Slowly, we're making progress, and people are feeling more hopeful that we as a community can prevent suicide.
Luther Talk, Dakota and Dene works with the Upper Sioux tribe and shares some of the actions his program is taking.
Once a year, we do a holistic a walk here. When we have our walk, we have a presenter in the beginning. And this year we used a doctor from this community that came in and spoke about healthy living. He touched on CD, on mental health, on suicide. This year we had the chairman come in and pray. He smudged the community off. We had an elder come in and he said a prayer and he sang a song. And we grouped up together. And the chairman got up and he made a good speech about, it's hot out. Look after one another. Take care of one another. We're here together as one. So let's walk together as one, and let's walk together. Let's do this in a good way so that we could heal. You know, that I think needs to come from leaders. I think those type of messages need to come from leaders. And when we're talking about the stigma of suicide, I think that's where it needs to start, is our leaders need to get educated in suicide and understand what suicide is and be able to mix contemporary culture with traditional culture and religion and braid it together so that way when they present it to the community, everybody will understand the message. It won't be for one specific group of people. It would be for the community as a whole.
Historical trauma and trauma over generations has resulted in people feeling disempowered. Native Americans just didn't believe that they could make a difference in addressing suicide and other behavioral health issues. But now things are changing. We believe we can.
In my mom's generation, she was taught not to talk about suicide. Our generation needs to come together and address the issues that have been pushed under the rug so we can better our lives as Native people.
Na